Welcome to my first episode of MiniGrinder Paints. I'm your host, the MiniGrinder. In this very special episode, I will be painting Reaper Miniatures Narthrax. This is a wonderful sculpt by a wonderful sculptor, Julie Guthrie. I will be painting it as a red dragon, if you couldn't tell. At this point in time, I've only finished the sort of baseline color gradient in the scales, and I've base layered the skin and the horns. I've also went through and I've lined each and every scale. I got this miniature from the Bones 2 Kickstarter, and when I saw it firsthand, it was clear to me that this was a red dragon. It's very spiky, a very aggressive look to it overall. As you can see, it's looking pretty good. I'm very happy with how it's turned out at this point, but there's still quite a bit of work to do. I want to add some black stripes on the sides, obviously finish the wings and the horns and the face and everything, but if you want to check that out, you got to watch the next episode. Now we're going to go ahead and brighten that color up. We need to brighten this up quite a bit. Let me see, I put a big puddle of blood red. It's better to apply a light layer and then come back and then apply another layer again if you want to brighten it up. Don't just go crazy and like, I want it this bright, so I'm going to put this much paint on it. Don't ever do that. That's bad. Look how much paint. Oh my god. I've ruined it. I've ruined everything. Like, where do I put all this paint? Right? So now I gotta find places to put this paint. Oh my god. So much paint. Yes. These are miniatures. While this is rather large, you don't need a ton of paint. Look how much goes on there, even with that little amount of paint. I'm not going to worry about the finger bits either, because that's going to be bone, right? And the other side. Looking pretty good. Still a long way from being done. This is just the initial sort of coloring. You know, you got to lay down the color. That's what I like to do. I like to lay it down. So next up, we're going to lay down some fire orange along the spine. We're going to bring the color, that fire orange, and fade it, shade it, whatever other word rhymes with those two words, down to the belly. So red belly, fire orange top, and then the gradient in between. That's what we're going to achieve. So we're going to go from this color, blood red, to this color, fire orange. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shake it. Alright, so here we go. I got my fire orange down there. Take a little bit of that fire orange, that burnt sienna. Load the brush up. The brush is a little moist. I am okay with that. That's the best way to add water and thin your paint, is just to have just a damp brush. You don't need a lot of water. Period. I'm sorry. You don't need a lot of water. Period. Period. See that? See what's happening there? You guys see it happening? I see it happening. Looking sexy. Sexy. Oh. This is where the awesome is, right? You don't do one color or the other. You do all the colors in between. Right? I'm literally just brushing this paint onto the model. Excuse me. I'm no Bob Ross, okay? I know. Oh, I could have this really nice, soft voice. Oh, yes. Just carefully paint the scales. Carefully. But no, I mean, there's nothing careful about this. You keep moving it back and forth until you get the coverage that you want, right? This is my little sponge. It's just a little damp, so it's how I can add some more moisture to the brush without adding too much. See that right there? Did you see it? Did you get that? Did you get that? I'm going against the grain here. Against the grain. Oh, I'm gonna get sued. I better watch it. That, I believe, there is the color gradient established. It's looking very smooth, but still needs a little touch. We're going to hit every single scale because of the coverage. There, that's the coverage. See how grainy it looks right there? So now that we got most of the color in, now we have the unfortunate task of painting each scale. So I went ahead and did my next step on the other side. So compare this with this. Right? So this is the next step. I already see it starting to work. And occasionally I'll come back and I'll hit these ones again because they're going to need a couple layers to get to that color. I'll give it some time to dry and then I'll put another layer on top. You can tell the difference right down the line there. This is just straight paint. A little bit of moisture. And just going to pull it against the grain to save us some time here. See where the problem areas are. And then you go in for those problem areas. One at a time. Luckily, it's pretty much the same job every single time, so I never get bored. Yeah. See how that's like slightly more orange? Nice faded, shaded color right there. And that is not. I mean, while it's wet, alright, and get some of this red, blood red. Mix that. Just a little bit of mixing. I want it quite orange more so. Just a little bit of blood red in there. And we're just going to pull that. Stroke, 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 stroke. Yeah. Yeah. And that's how you do it, folks. Did you see that? Isn't that beautiful? Alright, we're going to need a little bit more. No! Just a happy little dragon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll show you a technique I learned down in Bosnia. 88. When I was 9 years old. Yeah, see, I'm bracing it with my finger. Yeah. Now, a lot of this right here is going to get some reddish orange highlighted over it. I don't want to draw down that fire orange too much, right? I gotta have some room for that red to play. There we go, right here. The pits. This is the pits. Oh. Oh. Okay. Gotta do that clear up in there. We've moistened the blood red now. I'm not using it straight. There to go straight up. This is going to be a more targeted approach here. So each one of these things. There we go. Don't forget your moisture. I don't want to add too much paint on there. I want to add just the right amount. When your brush gets that little hook in it, it's actually trying to help you. It's nice having like a little beak to get down in there and peck those scales, those little details. I'm gonna go kind of like to a dry brushing maneuver here. Maneuver. Okay, now a little bit of moisture. Thin the paint out on the brush. And voila. Voila. Careful with this area. I finished the second layer, and I've decided to do the skin with a base of red brick. First, I did a little test, and I mixed red brick with fire orange, and it created a wonderful brownish color. And I think that's exactly what I'm looking for, basically. Let's go ahead and get our number 2 detailer. And what I'm going to do here is basically I'm covering up everywhere where I missed, right? Along the side here. I'm going to use the detailer to do that. Just right along. I could use a liner, I guess, but this old detailer will work. When I do it this way, I actually load quite a bit of paint on the brush. I'm just looking for application of color. And I'll be basing all the bone, like spiky bits and stuff, with red brick also. I will be going back and putting a layer of dark skin on top of that before I actually paint the bone color. Now, here's my number 6 angled dry brush. First, we're going to just go ahead and grab all that excess. I don't want that just hanging around, if at all possible. There we go. Dab it in. Look, quite loaded. And just laying the color down. And it's a wonderful, rich, dark color. This red brick color. Fantastic. I believe it's Reaper 09001. Alright, I'm also going to base these horns in the back. Now the paws. Anything that could be skin or bone is getting hit with the red brick. Blam! Hit with the red brick. I think these are like whiskers coming off. I should probably paint those accordingly. There he is. Currently we have the base layers down for the scales, the skin, the horns. The scales have been shaded. And then we lined everything. Everything. Look at this work right here on the tail. It's very nice. So next up, we have to put on our top layers on all the skin, on all the horns, and then we have to add our extra details in. Because, of course, we're not going to paint this guy just a plain old, nice looking orange to red, but we need some black stripy bits in there too. Yeah, that's right. I'd like to thank you for watching my first episode. It's really turning out great, but there's still quite a bit of work to do. I still have to finish the wings, pretty much all the skin, and all the horns and spines, and of course the face, eyes, inside of the mouth. So make sure you check out the next episode where I do all those things. And let's not forget about the base. I plan on doing a volcanic themed base. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I'll most likely cover that in a third episode. If you like what you saw, like it, subscribe to it, head over to my Google Plus or Facebook page, give that a like. Every month I give away a free commission paint job. You're going to want to check that out. Also, don't forget to stop by our sponsor, BigDwarfGames.com. And I know the guy personally because he's me. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day.